This is going to be a full tour of my entire gaming controller collection. This is going to include every controller I have, every controller accessory I have. Fortnite's not the most fun right now, so this video is a little bit different, but please let me know that you enjoy it by dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. So let's jump right into it with controller 1. This is my custom PS5 controller by AIM. As you can see, it has some cool colors, but I would say the majority of the controllers that I own also have a bunch of additional features. This controller in specific obviously has a really cool colorway. It has interchangeable thumbsticks. It has clicky buttons as well as digital tap triggers. It has a built-in rubber grip on the back as well as 4 reprogrammable paddles. And the total cost of this controller is $321.50, but this was one of the controllers that I got sent for free. This is controller 2. Controller 2 is a custom Xbox Elite Series 2 by Dream Controller. It has all the same really cool features as the PS5 controller, but they definitely look different because they're on an Xbox controller. So there's the interchangeable thumbsticks as well as the interchangeable D-pad. There's no clicky buttons, but it has a 3-way trigger stop system on the back. The grip wraps around from the front all the way to the back, and that's also where you will find the magnetic 4 extra paddles. And this controller normally is $240, but once again I got it sent to me for free. And this is controller 3. This is going to be a custom Hex Gaming Hyper. It has some of the same features like the interchangeable thumbsticks. It has a 2-way trigger stop. It has a pretty unique shape and of course another cool colorway. And then the final and my favorite feature is the back 4 paddles. Compared to the previous 2 controllers, this 4 paddle layout is so much better. And this controller is normally $163, but once again I got it sent to me for free. I promise I didn't get all my controllers for free, but I did get these 2. This one being a $40 PS4 controller by Nexigo. As you can see, it kind of looks like a Switch controller, but it has a bit of a grip on the outside, and it does have 2 extra paddles on the back. And I have this knockoff PS5 controller. Honestly forgot what brand it is. I think it's about $40, and it doesn't have any other features besides being like half the price and half the quality as a real PS5 controller. Speaking of that, I do have a real PS5 controller that I got when I purchased my PS5. Again, not really any cool features, but this thing does cost $70. Next, I do have 3 standard DualShock 4 controllers. Each one is $60, but as you can see just on these 2 alone, I have different setups for them. So I'll get to the accessories that I have on each one in just a sec. So that means I have $180 total in standard PS4 controllers, and then I also have 2 standard Xbox One controllers, this one being the newer one. And each of these were also $60, so I have $120 in standard Xbox One controllers, and that would make this the 12th controller. This is going to be my custom Scuf Impact. The Scuf Impact is a popular control option for many pro controller players in all different sorts of games, and that's because it has a pretty unique layout. Mine's fully kitted out with the interchangeable thumbstick. It has the digital tap triggers. It has the built-in rubber grip on the back, and of course I have the 4 extra reprogrammable paddles on the back as well. And I actually paid $239 for this controller. Now on the complete contrary is controller number 13. I bought this controller off of AliExpress, which is a really cheap website. I wanted to see how it compared to a real controller, and it's terrible. It was $18 and it's absolutely unplayable. Controller 14 is the PowerA Fusion Pro 2. I also had the PowerA Fusion Pro 1, but I gave that one to my brother. But this one is actually a $63 basically replica of the Elite Series 2. It has the interchangeable thumbsticks as well as faceplate. It has the 3-way trigger stop on the back. It has the wraparound rubber grip, and then of course it has the 4 magnetic paddles on the back. To follow that up, controller 15 is kind of its little brother. This thing is called the PowerA Enhance. It's a wired only Xbox controller that doesn't have that many features outside of its 2 extra paddles on the back. However, this controller is only $26. And we'll go ahead and round it out with controller 16. This is a Turtle Beach Recon that actually is pretty cool if you play on Xbox. It definitely has a unique look, especially with all the sound controls there at the top. It has this sort of rubber grip. The triggers are actually textured, which is kind of cool. And then there in the back, you have 2 additional paddles that are also textured. And this thing comes in at $50, which makes the grand total of all my controllers $1,565. However, that's just all the base controllers with no accessories added, which I have a lot of. First of all, I bought a Cronus Zen for the memes. Okay, it wasn't fully for the memes. I did want to try it, but I haven't actually used it in any real games, just creative in Fortnite. This thing is $100, and without going in too much detail, it basically mods games and makes it unfair. To pair with that, I got this, which is the Cronus Zen back button. This is an attachment for the standard PS4 controller that adds 4 extra buttons to the controller, and as its name would suggest, it's made specifically to be used with the Cronus Zen. This thing was $30, and to continue with Collective Mind products, I actually have 3 of these Strike Pack Dominators. These things are attachments for the PS4 controller that adds 2 paddles, and these things are actually called mod packs. They are made by the same company that makes the Zen, but the big difference is that they don't allow custom scripts. So even though I only use these things on my controller for the paddles, I get a lot of comments of people claiming that I'm cheating because I have these things on on my controller, even though the cheats and stuff that these things offer are really next to nothing. Each one of these things is $40, and the white paddles that I have on this one are called the alternate paddles, which cost an additional $10. And then I also recently got this trigger stab kit that pairs with the Dominator that costs $10. Then the last collective mind product that I have is the Strike Pack Eliminator. This thing costs $45 and I only have one of them, but it is probably my single most favorite controller accessory that I own. A lot of these really premium 4 paddle options, like the PS5 aim controller or the Xbox Elite Series 2, all their paddles are way too close to each other, and it's kind of hard to just click one paddle at a time without fat fingering and clicking multiple. So this layout of big round clicky buttons that are spread out decently far is absolutely perfect. And that would take us to the rest of the accessories that I have on this thing, which, as you can see, I got a grip. This is the $17 lizard skin grip. It's just like a rubber stick-on grip. Then there on my right stick, I'm using the Galaxy Control Freak, but I do actually have 2 sets of these things at $17 a piece. And the last accessory that I have on this thing you can't even see yet, but if I do this, you can see that I have hair triggers installed. This was a kit by Extreme Rate, and not only is it hair triggers, but it's hair bumpers, and it's very clicky and tactile buttons. So all my buttons and inputs on this controller feel really clicky, tactile, and responsive. And so much so to the point where I go back to a standard PS4 controller and the buttons almost feel mushy. This entire clicky button hair trigger kit was only $17, and I actually also have a hair trigger kit installed on this controller that was $15. This is an off-brand grip that I got for $5. These are off-brand paddles that I got for $8, and these are knockoff Control Freaks that I got for $7. I do have a DualShock 4 back button attachment. Now my favorite thing in the world costs like $30. Here I have my Plus Gear Pro scroller. This thing is actually pretty cool. You can stick it to basically anywhere on your controller and it functions as a scroll wheel. So like in Fortnite, you can use it to either bind straight to a weapon slot, or you can even use it for like scroll wheel reset. That thing costs about $40, and I also have 2 extra accessories that I have yet to install on any controller. They're both from Extreme Rate, so they're pretty cool, and they're each $40. I'm just now realizing how much I actually have. I have 2 sets of these Xbox paddles. I have this set of limited edition Travis Scott Cactus Jack thumbsticks. I have some of these Control Freak precision rings that I don't like at all. Then this thing is kind of a keyboard controller hybrid. This is actually the GMK keyboard joystick. It costs like $50, but it literally gives you controller movement on mouse and keyboard. I'm sure I missed something, but that's all my controllers and controller accessories. And that grand total comes out to somewhere around $2,200. And that's just the base price for everything. If I included tax and shipping on all that, it's definitely over $2,500. So my entire controller collection is pretty fat, but I can't use any of those controllers without the platforms that I play on. So I have my PS4 Slim that I bought back in like 2017 for $200. Just about a month ago, I bought a PS5 disc version, which was about $550. And then the main platform that I play on is my custom Power GPU gaming PC, which was about $2,000. Again, a little different of a video, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe if you did, and I hope to catch you in a future one.